Okay, well, I'm sitting here on top of Grandview Peak, and if you have never heard of Grandview Peak, you're not the only one. Most people have not heard of it, even though, hey, you know what? How about we just take a quick look around? You know, tell you what, we'll just take a quick look around, and you can see why this is called Grandview Peak. Now, what's interesting about Grandview Peak is, yes, it has a grand view. It is right above Salt Lake City, and I can see pretty much all of the Great Salt Lake. I can see Mount Ogden way up to the north. I can see the Morgan Valley. I can see Park City. I can see Alta and Snowbird. I can see out into Utah County. I can see Eagle Mountain. I can see the Stansbury Mountains way off in the distance. I can see Deseret Peak. I can see even over to the Skull Valley. I can see over to Simpson Springs. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay. This is a fantastic view. So you're probably wondering, oh, well, this has got to be a really popular place to come visit. And yeah, no, it's not. This is an incredibly hard place to get to. There is no easy way to this summit. Even though I can literally look over there and see Salt Lake City, the downtown area, the temple, all of the. I mean, like, it is so clear in my view. Like, I'm just. It's incredibly close. And yet, there's nobody here. And you might be wondering how. It's simple. So there's really only two major routes to get to this summit, and both of them suck. One is to um, go up Indian Springs through Bountiful, and then as you go up Indian Springs, you go up to Rudy's Flat, and then instead of going back down the Mueller Park side, you continue on up the Grandview Ridge line, and you follow that Grandview Ridge line all the way to here. Well, that is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it, which is the way that I did, which is a lot easier, although still crazy tough, is to drive up Ward Canyon Road from Bountiful, up above the Bountiful Bay, go all the way up to Skyline Drive, but instead of going down Skyline Drive, you hang a right down Sessions Road. Sessions Road is a single car wide Jeep road that is very rutted out. You definitely want a high clearance vehicle. I've got a 4-wheel drive truck, so I can do it, but then you drive until you can't. Um, for me, I chose not to drive past a certain point, got off, and hiked from there. Uh, from where I parked my car, it's about 5.5 miles to this point, and I think it's about a 2,000 foot climb. Yes, yes. It's in fact, it's exactly a 2,000 foot climb from my car. But that's not exactly a straight 2,000 up. It's a lot of up and down, so it's not quite as easy. And then, of course, the last part, the actual summit approach, there is no trail. It's just bushwhacking up very steep hillside. So this is not for the faint of heart. I would not suggest coming to this unless you really have a full day to give to it. Um, but it is spectacular if you do come to it. Now, why did I want to make a vlog video talking about some mountain that you're probably never going to climb? Well, I wanted to talk about what I really fear going on in the Republican Party in the United States. Now, I know most of you are not from the United States, and so you're probably going to tune out And you're probably going to think, who freaking cares? Well, a lot of people in this country do care because about half this country is Republican, half this country is Democrat. And it's really important to a lot of people to know who to vote for. Well, I'm guessing a lot of my viewers probably don't have fond feelings about Donald Trump. Neither do I. I will tell you right out. I voted for him in 2020 because Joe Biden is so thoroughly corrupt and evil that I felt it was the lesser of two evils. Right now, it would still be the lesser of two evils, but I definitely do not want him winning the primary. And here's the thing, you know, we've got a lot of candidates out there running, but unfortunately, there is this weird thing that happens when somebody wins. If somebody wins a presidential election, it turns the whole entire party in the direction that candidate won, because they think that because everybody loved that political candidate. Take for example Barack Obama. I mean, people loved him. I mean, like they adored him because he was you know, people said he was the first black president, and I guess technically he is. I mean, granted, he's half white, so I don't know why they always focus in on the black half of him, but, whatever. You know, honestly, I don't care. I consider him a cousin because I'm half Irish. He's half Irish. Great, wonderful. Um, but I look at it as what happened with him is he was so popular in the Democrat side, but he was also he also was really good at hiding his Marxism. He was very Marxist, still is, and anyways, so the Democrat Party moved heavily to the left, heavily to the Marxist side, as a result of his victories. Fast forward to 2016, Donald Trump wins. I did not vote for Donald Trump in 2016 because I do not like him. I think he is a bad man. But I also do not like Hillary Clinton. She is a bad woman. And so I voted for a third party candidate because I'm like, okay, well, I feel like I need to at least vote, but I can't, I can't in good conscience vote for either of them. In 2020, I felt like the danger of having Joe Biden as president was far greater than the danger of having Donald Trump. And Donald Trump had proven to not be as scary a leader as I thought when in the White House. Now, fast forward to today. It's 2023. Donald Trump has been fomenting. Um, he's been fomenting revenge ever since 2020, and I can understand why. I mean, there was a lot of crazy stuff going on in the 2020 election that sure did seem, less than forthright. But on the flip side, um, there's not clear proof, and with our constitutional system, ultimately it comes down to the electors. And if the states certify the general vote and give the electors to one side, then when those electors go to Washington to vote for the president, that's the official election. So Joe Biden is the official president, so it doesn't really do any good to be all, fomenting revenge. Instead, just focus on, okay, how do we win? And you might guess I'm pretty obviously a little bit more on the Republican side. Largely because historically they've been the party that's a little bit more on the Christian conservative side. And being a Christian myself, I believe it's really important to have representation. On the flip side, it's like I'm looking at what the Republicans are talking about right now, and a lot of what the Republicans are talking about doesn't mesh with my politics. Now, to be clear, the Democrats are even further away. And this is what really scares me, is that I feel like I'm losing my political party. I'm losing my voice because it doesn't matter if, you know, Republicans or Democrats win anymore for me. It's coming to the point where both of them are equally evil, just in different ways. And specific to the Republicans, what's been really bothering me is their arrogant attitude towards the war in Ukraine. Now, granted, I portray it that way on purpose because their arrogance is that they think that the world revolves around the United States of America. Now, I know that 80% of my subscribers, 80% of my viewers are not from America. So, let me put this straight. I do not believe that the world revolves around the United States of America. In fact, I wish it didn't as much as it does. But it doesn't. It ultimately doesn't. People in each country have their own free will and choice. In fact, each of these countries has their own free will and choice. Now, granted, a country like, North Korea has a horrible dictator. And, that dictator, he rules with an iron fist, and like nobody, like basically the people of his country are essentially his slaves. But in countries where you do have a representative government, elections that are actually fair elections, um, you should be able to choose your own path. I mean, like, and in the case of Ukraine, my position is, look, a lot of the Republicans are starting to say stuff like, "Oh, we need to end this war. We need to end this war. So we should just freeze it at the lines of control where they are right now, and sue for peace." And my my question to these Republicans are, uh, whose war do you think this is? I know the Russians are claiming that this is a war with NATO, but this is a war for independence, a war for freedom for the people of Ukraine. In fact, this is a war for survival for them. This is not some game being played by great powers. This is one regional power that used to be a global power, namely Russia. And yes, I said that, Russia. You're a regional power. You're no longer a global power. Get over yourself. You're not as great as you think you are. You have a declining birth rate to the point where you're going to disappear in the next century if you don't start having more babies. And and your solution is to invade and kill your brother country, Ukraine. You call them brothers, and yet you're massacring them, you're killing them, you're sending rockets into supermarkets and into residential towers, and you wonder why the Ukrainians are fighting back so hard? And now to my Republican friends, who do you think you are that you can tell the Ukrainians to stop fighting and give up their land and their people? Who do you think you are? Do you really think that just because, oh yeah, well, we shouldn't be sending so much money, we should be focusing on ourselves? Okay, yeah, maybe we should, but that has nothing to do with the war. That might have something to do with whether or not we send support to Ukraine, but Ukraine is going to fight no matter what. You know why? Because they want to survive, they want to live. They want to be free. They don't want to be slaves to Moscow. Now, to the Republican argument that, this is just because Biden took money through his son Hunter and Burisma, which, okay, yeah, that's true. But he also took money through his son Hunter from China and Russia and from Romania. Uh, I just I'm just trying to figure out how that equates to the moral wrongness of Ukraine being allowed to fight to win back their territory and their people. By the way, you do know that Russians stole Ukrainian children, changed their names, and had Russian parents adopt them. You do remember that hundreds of Ukrainian children were in a safe shelter in a theater in Mariupol, and the Russians came and burned the place down with the children stuck inside. Yeah, I know my Russian viewers are probably going to hate this. And you know what? Tough. Stop killing Ukrainians. Tell your leadership to go suck an egg. Because you know what? They're causing a lot of hurt. And when it comes to these Republicans who are now saying these horribly hurtful things, like, oh yeah, let's just give the bully, give give the massacring army, the one that's coming in and killing and slaughtering children, yeah, let's give them the spoils of war just because we're scared of a nuclear attack from Moscow. Yeah, yeah, we should be scared of a nuclear attack from Moscow, but you know what? We should also not let that deter us from making right choices. And personally, I believe it's the right thing for the Western world. We have so much. We are so wealthy. And what are we giving? We're giving old military stockpiles, stuff that we don't even use anymore, stuff that's just sitting in warehouses. Like literally, we Americans, we are sending weapons that were sitting in warehouses for decades. And so this is actually helping us while we're helping the Ukrainians. So I'm like yeah, monetarily there's a technical yes, we're giving this much money, but we already spent that money decades ago. We're not actually giving the money. We're just getting rid of old junk from our garage. Which honestly, if that helps us help Ukraine fight for their independence, their freedom, and their survival, then so be it. And hopefully the end result is Ukraine cleans itself up of corruption and becomes a good and wealthy country. Like their neighbor Poland has come a long way. They've cleaned up corruption. They've become a very good country, very and much wealthier than they used to be. And you know what? Good. That's what we want to see. That's what I want to see. I want to see every country be as wealthy and successful as the United States of America, including Russia. And to my Russian viewers, please understand, I I love you guys. I don't hate you at all. I want you guys to have peace. I don't want your brothers, your sons, to be sent to the slaughterhouse on the front lines in Ukraine for a war of nothingness, a war of complete futility. There's no point to it. No, instead, I want you guys to be free. I want you to guys have I want you guys to have a government that's actually representing you and working for you. If you live out in Irkutsk, I want you to have roads and trains and bridges, not your sons being sent off to war. So yeah, I, I'm I'm talking politics, so I know that's gonna downrank this a lot in the algorithm on YouTube. So whatever. But sometimes I need to speak. Sometimes I need to give my opinion. And you know what? As I sit here on top of this glorious view, this grand view, I'm my heart is soaring. because I see the creations of God up here. I see how glorious and beautiful it is. And I think we are all children of God. We are all brothers and sisters. Please, let's start treating each other that way. I'm the colorblind architect. Peace out.